Is this thing on? Welcome to Rebooted the Podcast. I'm your host, Alida Hernandez. Come join me weekly to hear about my journey from recovery to healing after having a stroke and other life challenges. So let's get talking. And hello today. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us again here at Rebooted the Podcast. Your host, Alida Hernandez. Just waiting for my special guest, Jane VELEZ-MITCHELL. New York best-selling author, journalist, president of UnchainedTV. And here she comes. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. I just wanted to let you know I'm recording this, of course, and
Sure.
I'm going to edit it later to put it out on all social media because I had a little, I changed my studio, so it wasn't quite ready yet.
No
For the
worries.
live.
No worries. Thanks for talking to
So,
me.
oh, this is great. This is great.
I'll be right there. I want to grab one quick thing.
Okay, no problem.
Where's my cat? Here we go. My little sign. I like to grab.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Is this just audio or is it video too?
It's video too.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
see you, so I'll edit this and then I'll put
Okay.
it up online. So
Terrific.
it was really interesting. I got the press release about Unchained TV and about saving the pigs, and it
Yes.
just caught my attention because I love animals. So I have 4 cats, 3 dogs, So I used to have a horse when I lived in California.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm in Boca Raton, Florida right now.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so I've been here like 22 years now, but I used to be in
Wow.
California for a long time too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
up in San Fernando Valley. So I used to have my
Oh,
horse
wow.
up there by Shadow Hills.
Oh, yeah. I know Shadow Hills very well.
Yeah. So I miss the mountains. There's no mountains here.
Very
But
flat.
it's very flat. Unfortunately, the only mountain we have is the garbage dump. Okay. But so getting back to the pigs. So I love animals and I've been looking through social media and it's been like all you see is little piglets everywhere. Oh, look how cute they are dressed up, like they do with the dogs, like they're a little doll or something. And I'm like, I don't know about this. I've never heard of any micro pig in my life. And my family's from Puerto Rico and my grandparents had a farm. And I remember when the pigs were born, they looked like little puppies. They're so cute. They're little like this. They're little. They're like maybe a pound. And they look like the little puppies, but they don't say like that.
Exactly.
So this is great. This is great to get the people out there to understand that those little pigs don't stay little. They grow.
The key is don't buy animals and don't eat them, don't wear them, don't exploit them. And so if you are hell-bent on having a pot-bellied pig, the shelters are overflowing with them. Go to a shelter, but make sure you have the room. And also don't adopt one, adopt 2, because they are social animals and they like to be with other members of their species. So this is a scam. You've got scammers who are breeding pigs. And just for a moment, imagine the mentality of somebody who breeds pigs for a living. And then falsely markets infant piglets as fully grown adult pot-bellied pigs, so-called micro pigs or pocket pigs, teacup pigs. They have all sorts of names for them and they don't exist. There is no pig that's going to fit in a teacup.
No.
And so what's happening is people see them, and unfortunately celebrities are getting them and putting them in their shows, and they go, oh, how cute. They take them home.
Yeah.
And within a short period of time, they're too big, they're too unwieldy for whatever apartment or home, and then they dump them at the shelter. And it's really tragic. We at Unchained TV did a reality show about 2 pigs dumped at the shelter, Dante and Beatrice.
Right.
And they are a bonded pair, which means they love each other, and they are essentially husband and wife. And so what happened was we pulled them out literally hours before they were set to be killed. And this very kind wildlife rehabber, Cindy Brady, took them in, and voila, we find out mama's pregnant, and pregnant with a dozen babies. So that's another thing. You have to spay these animals. You should do it when they're young. When the males get to be older, it's more complicated surgery, especially, and it should be done before they enter puberty, as it were. So there were all sorts of complications that ensued and hilarity. It's a great 5-part series on Unchained TV, which is a free global streaming network, 100% free. You can download it on your phone. You can download it on your television with Apple TV device, Roku device, Amazon Fire Stick. You can also just put it into streaming channel search bar on LG or Samsung or Sony or Panasonic smart TVs. So if you have a smart TV, you just type in Unchained TV, or you can just go to this QR code and go to UnchainedTV.com and watch it online. And we're a nonprofit. Everything we do at Unchained TV is free. And we are motivated by compassion to animals, trying to improve human health, and saving the planet. Animal agriculture, whether it's breeding pigs or cows or chickens, is a leading contributor to climate change. And it's no theoretical, hypothetical anymore. It's happening right in front of our eyes. You're in Florida, you see the floods, Miami Beach is flooded. I mean, the Keys are in danger. And I'm here at the beach. I worry about sea level rise here in California, the fires, the drought.
Oh, yeah.
It's eating animals because, people like to say, well, I love animals, so I want to conserve. And I hate those hunters. As much as I despise hunters, they're not the primary reason why animals are going into extinction. It's the destruction of their habitat to create cattle grazing land. The Amazon rainforest is being destroyed to create cattle grazing land. And who's eating the cattle? Americans. So you're not a victim. You are a participant. You're a co-conspirator if you're eating animals. And we just want to show people, look, first of all, these are really intelligent animals. Pigs have the intellectual and emotional development of a toddler human. They can do complex problems. They love their families. They want to remain with their families. They fall in love. They remember people.
How long do they live? How long is the lifespan of a pig?
Well, quite long, if not slaughtered. When pigs are slaughtered for food, you know how old they are generally?
Like 3 years old, maybe, or less?
6 months.
6 months.
They're babies. Generally babies. We visit a slaughterhouse here in near downtown LA, and the babies, they're coming in, they're terrified. Where's my mommy? What's happening to me? I haven't had water or food in 48 hours. It's
sad. It's so sad.
And it's also unnecessary. I'm Puerto Rican too, and Irish. And in Puerto Rico, you have fruits. You have yuca, which is a vegan protein source of Caribbean potato.
We have so much malanga. I mean, we have the plátanos, the green bananas. I mean, we have so much. You can't go starving there. You have mangoes, coconuts. I remember growing up in Gurabo. That's where my family was from, Gurabo, Puerto Rico. And I used to go out the backyard, just pick out the mangoes, the guava, the whatever we had out there, like canepas, all that good stuff.
We're all being factory farmed. They're trying to force us to eat the bad food so we get sick, so we need all the pills and the operations. And most of it is lifestyle illness that can be reversed and prevented with a plant-based diet. And, this is something that is tragic because in Puerto Rico, everybody should be fit and healthy because they've got the great food right there.
Yeah, but you know what kills them, right?
Fast food.
The pigs.
Yeah.
They eat pig. They eat so much pork. In Puerto Rico, they eat so much pork. That's the main meat of the island.
Let me say this. It's really colonialism because pigs and horses are not indigenous and cows are not indigenous to the Americas. Okay. The first cow came over on Columbus's second voyage. The first pig was brought in by a Spanish conquistador in 1539. So if people want to celebrate their heritage, they should go back to their original foods, which were primarily, almost exclusively, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains.
Yep.
Legumes. And that would eliminate the healthcare crisis. So what we're talking about is showing compassion to these beautiful animals, getting healthy, empowering, self-empowerment, and also fighting climate change 3 times a day with what you eat. Now, we are all living in the meat matrix. So the other day, a woman got hysterical at a fast food joint because there was a nipple popping out of her deli slice. And she freaked out. Oh my God, it's disgusting. And it was a big news story. What did she think she was eating? Or who did she think she was eating? So that is a moment where we rip open the meat matrix and we see the reality, because truth isn't a lot of people getting together and agreeing on a lie. And that's what we're doing right now in our society. We're saying these animals don't count. You can call yourself an animal lover if you love dogs and cats, and you can subsidize with your dollars the torture of pigs and cows and chickens and turkeys and lambs, and you can still consider yourself an animal lover. No.
Yeah.
So we are doing a really fun series at Unchained TV. But guess what? If you decide to make the change, we also have tons of great vegan cooking shows.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
We have award-winning cooking shows. You can just go to UnchainedTV.com and click Watch Now, and then you can learn how to make chicken nuggets without chicken, and beef and the burgers without, and they are tasting now. They've gotten so sophisticated. They taste so much like meat that I'm actually afraid to eat some of them, because I'm like, are you sure this isn't meat? Because it's there. And I just did a story on Unchained TV. They're coming out with bioidentical meat that is plant-based. I'm just so afraid of anything being processed, because I went from. I'm going to stop you right there. I got to stop you right there. What? If you take a banana and a mango and you put it in your Cuisinart, that's processed. Okay.
Okay.
So what's happening is the meat and dairy industry, which is the biggest purveyor of processed food, and fails to mention that processed meat, unlike processed vegetables, is officially cancer causing. According to the World Health Organization, it's a level 1 carcinogen. Okay. Nobody mentions that. But then when we take some peas and some soy and we mush them up and we put them in a patty so that it's palatable, because you could always elect to eat actual vegetables, actual grains, actual legumes. But because people say, oh, I could never do that. Okay, we're gonna make your comfort food for you. We're just gonna make it plant-based. Oh, I can't do that. It's processed. Well, meanwhile, they're eating processed meat all the time. All meat is processed. Do you know when you eat a hamburger, you could be eating the body parts of hundreds of animals, because those cows, it's mixed up in a giant vat, all these dead animals. And
I don't eat beef anymore. I stopped eating beef 5.5 years ago. I had my stroke. And when I had my stroke, I knew I wasn't taking care of myself and I wasn't eating correctly. So I changed my whole life, my whole mindset. And that's when that's why I started this podcast now too, just to help and give back to people, to learn about this stuff, that you can change your body, your body recovers. And I went vegan and, plant-based and detoxed my body and just really just changed my life.
Well, good. That means you're not eating dairy, because dairy is liquid meat, and it's the worst thing on the planet. No dairy. And you can have soy milk; it's fine. You can have rice milk, you can have oat milk, almond milk, whatever. It's now you're also not getting the hormones. 80% or more of hormones of antibiotics produced are fed to farmed animals, so it's increasing antibiotic resistance, and also the hormones. A lot of these animals are pregnant when they're slaughtered. There's all those hormones. So for many reasons, you're going to be a lot healthier, and you reverse, and you have greater chance of longevity. So I'm so glad you're doing that. And we've got to, we're at a point where we're almost at the point of no return. We try to make it easy for people. It's an addiction. Meat and dairy has become addictive because fast food is addictive. It's packed with sugar, salt, and fat, the very 3 ingredients that were biologically pre-programmed to crave to get us through times of famine. So the fast food giants have figured that out. Pack it with sugar, pack it with salt, pack it with fat. And addiction is when you're powerless. You can't say no. The only power is to completely stay away from it. So if you completely stay away from it, you can handle it. But if you try to negotiate with fast food, forget about it. It's not going to work for most people.
No, I just avoid that. I just avoid it. I always say if I'm not gonna eat it, I don't buy it, first of all. And you just learn. People think it's so difficult. I said it's not. It's all up here. It's all in your mind. You have to decide what you want. What's more important, right? My life was more important. I have 2 sons. And I have all my animals and my family to take care of. I was like, I'm staying around for a while, so I'll do what I got to take. So
good for you. Good for you. I'm glad that you woke up. This is what we're seeking with Unchained TV, to give people a moment of clarity where they go, oh, there's another way.
Exactly.
I've been scammed. I've been told that this is what I have to eat. I need it for protein. No, there's more protein calorie per calorie in kale than there is in a hamburger. Okay.
Or chia seeds.
What?
Chia seeds.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's plenty of, all you have to do is one Google search, plant-based protein. A giant list of things pops up. So there's absolutely no reason. All the nutrients in meat are available in plant-based. And so when people say, well, first they say, well, what do you eat? Grass? No, oh my God, there's thousands of vegetables. You're eating just 5 or 6 animals: cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, goats, and lambs. There are tens of thousands of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains that can be whipped up in an infinite number of combinations. So they say, well, I'm not going to cook like a carrot or whatever. Okay, well, we'll make something. We'll mush it up. We'll take these veggies. I can't eat that. It's processed. It's like an alcoholic. I can't stop drinking because I got a problem. Oh, I can't stop drinking because I got good news. I can't stop drinking because it's raining out. I can't stop drinking because it's sunny out. When there's no right answer, you know that it's their issue. And we're trying to help people. I mean, it's such an adventure. It's so fun. The plant-based movement is super, super fun. There's Veg Fest, by the way. There's a couple of Veg Fests in Puerto Rico right now. There's a big vegan movement.
Oh, nice.
Restaurants in San Juan. And there's a lot of fun you can have. I mean, here in LA, we have Vegan Playground, which is a happening scene. Vegan Street Fair, also run by Puerto Rican. Jessica Shea, she runs Vegan Street, or arguably the most successful vegan festival in the United States. You could make a case. Vegan Street Fair in North Hollywood is super packed, super successful. So, I think that what I would urge everybody to do is check this out. You go to UnchainedTV.com, or if you don't mind, just grab that QR code, and it's a portal to a whole new way of living. It's not a sacrifice. You will feel happier. You'll actually, if you suffer from depression, there's no cures, and I don't pretend to be a doctor or a scientist, but the truth is that your mood is determined to a certain degree by your serotonin levels, and your serotonin levels are determined by your gut biome, and your gut biome is determined by what you put in your body in terms of food every day. So if you want to feel better and be upbeat, it's certainly going to give you more of a chance of being that way. I'm not saying that there's no exceptions. Obviously there are, but when you eat healthy and you're eating the whole food plant-based diet, oh, wow.
It makes such a difference. I tell people I feel so different. Like my body, because I was diabetic for a long, long time. And I went down like 6 points on my A1C. I lowered everything. I'm controlled, almost off medicines. I'm off insulin. And I tell people, it's just making a little adjustments slowly, like you stop drinking milk, change to almond milk or some other milk that you like the taste, right? Get rid of the butter, change to something else. Like I tell people,
you can have Miyoko's butter, which is a vegan butter. And here in California, they tried to take her to court to say she couldn't use the word butter, and she won. It's the most delicious butter on the planet, and it's made from plants. If you want to have your butter, if you want to have your mayonnaise, I believe Hellman's has vegan
Yes,
mayonnaise.
they do. I tried it. It's
you
very
know,
good.
There's what I would suggest is, instead of doing it gradually, yeah, you can do it gradually, but the clock is ticking. All you need to do, it's like when somebody who's a drunk gets sober, they don't keep the wine bottles in the house.
No,
Okay.
no,
They
they
put
don't.
it down the toilet and they move on.
Yeah.
And what you could do is just take all the meat and dairy products in your pantry, pull them out of your fridge, replace them. You take your dairy, cow's milk, the breast milk of a cow, you replace it with plant-based milk. You take your eggs, which are just balls of cholesterol that are going to clog your arteries, and you replace it with Just Egg. They have a vegan egg now that you can buy anywhere. I think you can get it at Costco. It's all over the place. You take your butter and you replace it with Miyoko's butter. Or in my case, what I do is I just have spray coconut oil and I spray things. It tastes fine. I don't miss it. Oil is very fattening. And so I just use the spray oil. I spray a little, and I use the air fryer a lot without oil. So you can make French fries or sweet potato fries in your air fryer and just hit it with little spices and a little bit of a spray. And instead of all that oil, you're just getting these fries. Right. So I would get rid of all the ice cream, replace it with vegan ice cream. I've got vegan ice cream.
They have avocado ice cream now.
Yeah,
I love it. So good.
they have all of it. And
do.
So as far as the meat products, you can go and get, oh my God, Morningstar corn, and there's a whole bunch of others that are. There's the Beyond Meat, there's the Impossible. All of them. They've got fish it's too fishy for me. It tastes like fish. I don't want it. But if you like fish, you can have one also have to push and chips. So yeah, it's fun and it's a new way of living. And I see it in my own neighborhood. People who are having these big barbecues, and I say, there's another way. You could have a veggie burger. Oh, and then the ambulance comes and takes them away from a heart attack or a stroke. What is a heart attack or a stroke? It's the vessels in your body getting clogged with plaque. Where does plaque come from? Cholesterol. Where does cholesterol come from? Animals. There's no cholesterol in any vegan product. Not Beyond Meat, not Miyoko's butter, none of it. You can go look, 0 cholesterol. Okay. So you're not clogging your arteries and you're still having the great taste experience. I have cookouts here all the time. I invite people. I don't even say it's vegan at the end. They're like, wow, me neither. Everything's eaten up. I say, there was no animal products in there. Ooh.
I throw Impossible burgers on the grill. They're like, oh, burgers. No, okay. They're all medium, no problem.
Well, I want to thank you so much for, the opportunity to talk to your fans about Unchained TV. Have you downloaded it yet on your phone?
Not yet, but I have seen the episode on the computer I was watching.
Yeah, but please download it on your phone or download it on your TV.
So how else can we contribute? I know it's a nonprofit, so how else can people help you, like financially?
Well, you could go to UnchainedTV.com and donate. We have a donate button.
Okay.
I mean, I do not take a salary. I was in the news media for many years. I'm retired from the news media, but I'm working harder than ever because usually it's hundreds of people running a network. I'm running a network with a handful of people. Literally, I wake up, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm working by 8. I work often till 11 o'clock at night. I don't take a salary. I'm doing this for one reason and one reason only. I would like to stop animal suffering. I'd like people to get healthier, and I'd like to stop the climate apocalypse that is almost upon us. And let me tell you something, when it hits, look at the island of Puerto Rico that's surrounded by water. As the rising sea levels occur, you see it in the Keys already. Yeah. I mean, we are barreling toward extinction. Let's not assume that the human race cannot go extinct. I was listening to an IPC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reviewer who said, when it gets to a certain heat level, and you're not hearing from the government because the governments around the world have been co-opted by the meat, dairy, and pharmaceutical industries. They have the most lobbyists in Congress. They insert people into positions of power. Currently, the USDA, the head of the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, is a dairy industry trade group leader. You don't need to say anymore. So you're not getting warned about this, but as the heat rises, animals will start to keel over from the heat outside. And inside too. They're kept in these giant warehouses, most of them, even farms. So they're just horrific, hellish warehouses. So the other day in Kansas, you didn't read this in the news, but somebody with a camera was driving and saw all these cows dead in Kansas with their legs in the air. It was the most horrific, like,
oh my God,
thousands and thousands of cows, because when it gets to a certain heat, they cannot survive. Now, he said the same thing's going to be happening with crops. When it gets to a certain heat, there will be massive crop failure. We're not preparing for it. And you know what he said? How will it manifest? You're going to go into the supermarket and it's going to be no food. Okay.
It's already starting. There's already things starting.
It's starting, but it's going to get a lot worse. You know, you probably laugh at me, but I have several cartons of popcorn, unpopped popcorn. And I figure if worse comes to worse, I could survive on popcorn for a year, because it could happen. It could happen very quickly. We're already seeing things that we never thought we'd see. 500-year storms every year. Look at the flooding in Kentucky. Look at the flooding and the fires across Europe, across California. This is just the appetizer, people. So if you don't like it, you could say, well, I don't think I'm going to be the one who gets a heart attack. Nobody thinks they're going to be the one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then when it hits, it's too late.
Yeah.
Now is your chance. And you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You will be happier. You'll feel healthier. You will have a new outlook on life. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses and you'll see everything differently. You don't have to kill something or someone for you to survive. That's medieval, primitive thinking. We can thrive. And if we stopped raising and killing 80 billion animals every year, we would have enough food to feed the entire planet and then some. Every kid who's now dying of starvation in Somalia or Afghanistan, I get upset, excuse me, because even these anti-hunger organizations are feeding people meat. It's like, are you out of your mind?
I know.
So let's do this. Come on, people.
That's right. Let's do this. Get
all right.
Healthier and everything. Unchained TV. There's Jane. Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you very much. And we'll be there. We'll help you with the fight.
Adios.
Bye. Adios. Gracias.
Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Rebooted the Podcast to learn about each episode's guests and topics. This is your host, Alida Hernandez. See you next Tuesday.